Oh, Anthony Mack. The buttons aren't working.
Oh, no.
I
This
tested them
again?
before the show. Chef's kiss. Worked perfectly.
I even asked you. I was over there messing with the window. I said, "Are the buttons going to work today? Is the music going to work?"
Should
And
have
you
worked.
said, "I don't know."
I really don't anymore. I test them all out. They look fine. Red light goes on. Buttons clam up. What are you going to do?
It's brutal. That stinks too, because we needed a good intro for a good show today. We got quite a bit to talk about. We've got.
Give me one final tap right here. I think this might fix it. No, the answer was no. That did not do. Okay, cool.
That
Start the
literally
show.
did nothing. So.
Start the show.
All right, it's 2:00. It is a Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week. It's the bullpen. I'm Tony Mack. That, of course, is Tricky Ricky. We are live at the beautiful Toyota Field here in Madison. The final preparations are being done out on the field as we are in the last month without Trash Pandas baseball, but we do have like high school baseball and Alabama baseball coming here. We even have an entire fair in our parking lot. That's right, the big old ballpark fair. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment. We've got postseason basketball starting tonight in the SEC. The SEC basketball tournament will begin this evening. And then you've got, what else we have going on? The XFL is already having to restructure their TV deal because, or at least change where their games are being played because their ratings are dipping really hard. We've got
They're going to go to the CW, like the Live Golf Tour, because their ratings are garbage too.
their ratings are so bad they're getting an upgrade on TV for some reason. They're going from FX to ESPN.
FX is not a place I'd go looking for football.
No,
I know when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm going to forget about those.
FX has the
Movies.
FX doesn't have the football.
Do they still have FXX?
Yeah.
See.
Oh, yeah. I use FX.
At least they didn't get that, I guess. But, yeah, no one's going to FX and thinking football. Just like no one's going to the CW like, hey, I want to go watch some golf.
Where's Gilmore Girls?
Yeah, let's go to the Gilmore Girls.
Looking for Rory and Lorelai. I'm trying to get my hours filled of Gilmore Girls, but I got to watch who's in the Live. Bryson DeChambeau.
Pat Perez. I don't know. All right, keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. I wanted to talk about the fair for a minute because while we have a lot going on here with baseball coming up, this happens every year, and I've driven by it. But now that I work in the stadium full time, this is the first time I've been around it with the fair going up. This is unbelievable. I can't believe this is in a parking lot of a baseball stadium.
There was nothing 2 days ago, and there's a full-blown fair.
People are living here.
Like roller coasters.
People are living here to put this up. Like they have campers here sitting out in our parking lot because they get up in the morning, they get to work to put this fair up, and then they get right back in their camper 10 feet away and go to sleep. Like they are living to put this fair up here. That's crazy.
That's how a traveling show works, man. And they are all definitely here. They got some really nice bathroom setups over there behind the outfield experience.
Have you used one yet?
Some very nice campers. Got the extendable things there. Nice awnings. Good little, little outdoor breakfast nook area.
I was driving in, and it was like I was taking a tour of the United States. There were campers and RVs that had like states on them, like not their tags. The front of them were branded like Tennessee, Texas, Kentucky. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. People live in other states. It's nuts. Yeah, not everyone's from Alabama.
What?
Dude, are you going to get on that big old looking thing, that one that takes you up super high and then makes you real fast go down? I don't like that so much.
I think that's just a crane they're using to put the rides up.
I doubt it. I highly doubt that.
No, I don't know if I'm built for any I'm
a wuss.
I'm not a wuss. It's just I feel like the fair rides are more designed to make you puke rather than like to give you that thrill. I'm more of a roller coaster amusement theme park kind of guy.
Well, if anybody knows how to sell tickets to a fair, it's you.
Well, plenty of people are built for that. I am not built for that.
I'm not.
I tell you what I will do though.
Wuss.
Instead of getting on all the rides, I will go eat every fried thing they have. I love fried food.
Good question in here from Troy in the comments. He said, biggest prize you've ever won at a carnival. I've won an awesome prize, but you go first.
You're going to have to go first. I can't think of a prize.
Never won a prize? You never got you a stuffed elephant? You never got you a little inflatable alien or something?
Nothing cool. Like, I've gotten the little ones, but I've never won a big prize.
I went to a fair a few years ago, and I got the darts. You pop out the little balloons, 3 for 3. Nice. Not to toot my own horn. 3 for 3, pretty good. 3 for 3. Now, granted, they were 3 feet away, so, You could have dropped 2 of them, probably still hit the balloons, but knocked it out. They showed me the prize bin, and your standard stuffed animals, whatever. And at the bottom, they had a framed 8x10 of Tom Brady. And it was a garbage frame. Frame was made out of plastic or I don't know, 2-cent frame, and a picture of Tom Brady. Someone just printed off of Google. And I looked at him like, I'd like that framed photograph of Tom Brady, please. I took it home and I hung it above my apartment door. It's been up there for 3 years.
I was about to ask. Please tell me you still have it.
Oh, people walk in and they go, "Is that a picture of Tom Brady hanging above your door?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I knocked out 3." But they're like, "We don't." That was the end of our questions. I go, "All right, cool. Well, I got a story if you want it." And they're like, "Nah, it's fine."
Do you what do you say when they're like, what is that above your door? And you're like, that's Boaz Carnival 06 champion.
Rocket City Fair.
Rocket City Fair champ.
Rocket City Fair 17. I took out 3 balloons, 3 darts. Didn't need a redo. Most people say the game's impossible, but it's not.
Dart champion. Ricky is your 2017 Rocket City Fair dart champion.
I'm the dart man. I wish I had that photo on here. I don't have it anymore, but
Is that picture making the trip to the new house?
Oh no.
Going in storage or throwing it away?
I think I might have to part ways with it. I might have to do that this week. I might have a Viking funeral for it. Put it on a little boat, light it on fire, push it to the middle of a pond, and weep.
You can just say it was in honor of his retirement.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'll retire the Tom Brady photo, and then if he comes back, that'll give me an excuse with the wife. I can be like, look, how many times does a quarterback come back from retirement? Now, the answer is somewhat frequently, but she doesn't know that. She doesn't have to know that. I'd be like, babe, this never happens. This quarterback retired from football, and then a few months later decided he still wanted to play football. What do you want me to do, throw away the picture I got from the fair? That's just dumb. That's wasteful. And it's a slap in the mouth the way everything Tom Brady's accomplished. So that story should work, right?
You should just go. I think what would work better if you're like, look, just imagine that this is Greg Dortch. Right? Imagine that this is Greg Dortch. For one season, let me have it.
I'm going to make it my goal this offseason to have Greg Dortch send me a picture. I'm going to tweet him. Is he on Twitter? I know he doesn't have followers.
Got to be on
now,
Twitter.
The story on Greg Dortch, if you don't know, he's a football player for the Arizona Cardinals. I'd never even heard of him until the preseason. I was watching preseason games because I'm a degenerate. I would bet on preseason football games, so I'd be into it. And Greg Dortch pops out in the fourth quarter like Cardinals versus whoever. And my fiance's season is just like, oh, yeah, Dortch. I love this guy. And I'm like, Dortch going to be working at FedEx in about a week. He's going to get cut. I've never even heard of this guy. Well, then my fantasy football comes up, the draft. She goes, you should get Dortch. And I go, I'm not getting Dortch. He's literally the 1,200th ranked player in fantasy football. I'll never even see his name. She leaves. I go, what an idiot. And then Greg Dortch leads the Arizona Cardinals in catches for the first 6 weeks of the season. He had an amazing year. What was his final stats?
God.
Greg Dortch, 2022 stats.
Keep in mind, Kyler got hurt at the end of the year, too. So,
Yeah, probably would have been better. He had 52 catches, 467 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, the first, let's see, he absolutely shredded the first few weeks. 7 catches, 4 catches, 9 catches. Dude's getting DeAndre Hopkins level targets for the Arizona Cardinals. So maybe I'm gonna get on the Dortch bandwagon now.
I got him on Twitter if you want to send him a DM.
What's his @? I can't find it. No one tags Greg Dortch in anything.
It's @_G Dortch.
@_G
DORTCH.
This is not an easy one to type. @_G Dortch. He said BU. Arizona Cardinals. That's it. That's all he's got. 13,000 followers. Follow Greg Dortch. I am sending him a message today.
His pinned tweet from 2019. If you want to know who's real, fall off, go broke, or say no.
He knows. He knows I doubted him. That's what that tweet has
4
to
years
mean.
ago. It was from 2019.
He knew it before it even happened. Wow.
So I want to go back to the fair over here. I'm going to go back to the YouTube.
So I'm going to go back to the fair here.
Because Troy gets in on YouTube. He says, I had a proud dad moment where I won a basketball for each of my 4 kids. They dribbled them all day at the park.
That's caveman stuff. That's right cool. There. You know, mm-hmm. That's like dragging home a piece of meat for the whole family. You just sit back like, I know, which is translates. You know.
And you got me over there who's got like all the participation, like keychains they hand out. I'm like, hey, here you go.
You got the tail from whatever they killed. They just gave you the scraps. Mm-hmm. You know, this dude's family over here, he's gnawing on that thigh, going at it. You're over here trying to get scraps off a tail. You're sucking on tail gristle.
So you said, other than being a peak athlete at carnival games, you mentioned you were a wuss when it came to rides. So you don't like theme parks or anything?
No, I love theme parks, but you are right. A lot of these rides just make me dizzy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
do you get to a certain age and rides just make you dizzy?
No, because
roller coasters I have no problem with all that. It's the ones that just go in circles, mm-hmm. or the ones that spin you like that. Oh,
about 10 years ago, I'd have been all over, like the one that goes up real fast.
Yep.
Down. Oh yeah, been all over it.
I did the space shot at the Space and Rocket Center when I was in 4th grade, mm-hmm. and I don't know, I did it like 5 times in a row, and then I got in the car back because it was a field trip for school. I got back in the car to go back to school, and I sat there and I was like, bro, that was the stupidest thing I ever did, man. Like, I had all these regrets. And, like, before I was doing it, I was all worried. I had my head down. And no one told me to pick my head up, but I picked my head up at the last second, and then it shot off. And I'm thinking, dude, what if my head was down? Would the inertia jam my head into the – and I do. So I was, like, space shot in 4th grade, like, jacked me up. And so I don't know. I don't know if that psychologically did something to me.
It did not affect you in any way. I can promise you that. Anyway, Robert says, best thing I ever won was Trash Pandas tickets and taking Theodore to his first pro baseball game to see the Trash Pandas.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about right
there. You can win that at the fair?
I don't know. Oh, maybe somebody dropped some or something. And it blew into the parking lot of the fair.
Troy says, I can't handle wooden roller coasters anymore. Too much head bouncing and shaking. Yeah, like we need to phase the wood roller coasters out. They're just.
I thought they got phased out during the Industrial Revolution. Are those still around?
You can definitely find wood roller coasters still.
Okay.
Need to get phased out.
I don't go to a lot of theme parks.
I haven't been to one in 4 or 5 years, but that was a great trip. It was for when it was right before I got married. We went to Atlanta and we went to Six Flags. I really wanted to go to Six Flags, and I dropped my phone off the very top of the Goliath.
Rookie move.
The screen didn't break. It was like the 4th or 5th time I'd ridden it that day, so I thought it was safe, but it finally fell out. But found it later. Mm. Screen was totally fine. Didn't break. Fell over 200 feet and did not break. So that was cool. Man. Also, one of my best friends.
200 feet?
It was, yeah. The top of the Goliath, I think, is like 200 feet, I think. But we were at
what if that had hit somebody, man?
It fell behind, like, well, it dropped directly down below me, and the roller coaster over the public.
Yeah, but you ever hear about that, like, penny off the Empire State Building? If you dropped it, like it hit somebody, you could kill them?
You could, but there are people that actually walk underneath it. It's like a public place underneath the Empire State Building. You can't just walk underneath a roller coaster.
You tell that to the guy who's in there, probably tightening up some nuts when you're anytime weekend.
People have had their heads kicked off doing that because they drop their hats and they go under there to try to get it.
That's right.
So
we're not selling the fair very well right now. I feel like we're doing the opposite.
They're not going to put a roller coaster up, are they?
I rode a roller coaster, but it's not like a 200-foot Goliath. It's it's a fair roller coaster. You got to be able to put it in a truck,
True.
And it wasn't wooden.
That's good. That's a big plus when it comes to roller coasters.
Wooden.
But my buddy, we got on the Goliath. There was like 6 of us, maybe even more than that, when we went to Six Flags. And he was like, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm pretty scared to get on this roller coaster. I'm like, okay.
I'm pretty freaked out.
You're sitting with me, so that's great. Everybody else is in the back having a great time. We're front row, the front. So we're at the top of the Goliath when it drops you 90 degrees straight down. We're at the front looking at this, and he kind of just gives me this one last right before it goes. And then it releases. And for the duration of this roller coaster, which some would say is like 90 seconds, it felt like 15 minutes for me. You just hear for the entire time, you're, oh, God, like fearing for his life. He sounded like he was not having any fun. And this was the first time we hit it that day. Like, first roller coaster, first ride we got on that day. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this is going to be a long day for everybody. Now, he's not going to have fun anymore after this when we get off the ride. And it's going to hamper everybody's day. And we get off, we're walking down the ramp. And everyone's like, oh, that was fun. That was a good start to the day, good start to the day. And I kind of catch up with him. And he was the last one getting his stuff. And he's walking down the ramp. And I'm like, hey. And he goes, dude, that was so awesome. That was so much fun. I'm like, are you kidding me? You sounded like you were dead. I thought you were going to jump from the top of the roller coaster.
Yeah, the opposite of what I had.
Yeah.
I was all happy and
he thought it was great.
Then I was like on the ride home, questioning every decision I ever made. What is that about roller coasters?
I don't know.
They flip-flop you.
Yeah.
Is that something with your brain moving around?
I'm sure it has something to do with that.
Yeah, we won't waste any time on that one because we're buffoons.
We live in the Rocket City, but we are no rocket scientists.
It really is crazy. Like, I don't know what we're doing in this town. We're way too dumb to be living here. You know? Like, this goes away.
I'm phased out immediately.
I don't know where I'm going.
Phased out immediately. I've got a background in sports radio and working for a minor league baseball team, which if you take the minor league baseball team out of the Rocket City and you put me, who that's all the experience I have, in a town of rocket scientists, I'm not going to make it.
I took a math quiz in college. The only math class I took, and I got a 2. I got a 2. I got the first question right, and I got the next 49 wrong. Have I never told you that one? No. I didn't need any math classes in college because I was a communication major, but I took one because I wanted to keep my math wits sharp, which I don't have any to begin with. You know, it's like you don't really forget addition or subtraction, you know?
Good choice, Mike.
You know, I was just so hot on the heels of calculus off of high school. I said, I better keep this going in college or I'm going to lose my passion for it. And so I took, like, algebra. Like, I took a high school class in college. And
you paid for this?
Yeah, and the teacher gave a test the first day. She's like, just want to kind of gauge where everybody's at. This should cover everything you went over in high school. This is nothing new, so we'll just take a quiz. A little refresher for everybody. I was like, yeah, I got you. And I saw that first one. I was like, I know that. La, 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 la. And I looked at number 2. I was like, oh, that one's a little brutal. I'll just look at number 3. Oh, let me look. Oh, whoa. I don't know any more of the remaining questions. I've got 98% of the test left, and I have no idea how to calculate those numbers. And that's exactly how it went. And so the teacher gave me my paper back the next class. She wrote 2 with a circle over it, so I knew that was my score. And then she wrote, you need to go to a different class. And that offended me, so I stayed in the class, and I got a B. What's up?
She wrote a 2 on the paper, and then she said, Ricky, I don't know why you answered the first question, and then for number 2 through 50, you just quoted the movie Step Brothers over and over again until the test was over.
I felt like you were looking for something outside of the bag, Teach. Was I wrong? And she's like, yeah, you're absolutely wrong. I was looking for equations. It's math. And I went, good call.
I was always good at algebra. I took, not only did I had to take one entry-level algebra class in college because I hadn't taken math in forever. When I got there, got an A in that class. I ended up taking one more. It was like I had to take trig or calculus or something. But I did so well in that, and I'm not together with her anymore, but my ex-girlfriend, I was with her for a long time. She had failed the entry-level math class, which was algebra. She failed it twice, so I took it for her and got her an A in that class.
Wow. What a sap.
Yeah, I know. Ugh. Oh, yeah, dude. This was...
Yikes.
This was...
this is a movie.
This
is every movie about the nerd that tries to get the hot girl.
This was... Oh, we dated 4 years. But this was 13 years ago that happened. Totally different now. There's no shot I would do anything like that now. I hit a switch a few years after that.
She should have figured it out for herself like I did and found out that the online homework for the math class gave you an automatic A if you failed the question 3 times in a row. It would just give you the answer, and then you'd put it in, and it would go, correct, great job. How'd you know that? And I'm thinking, well, you just gave me the answer. That's how I know. So I got a perfect 100 on the online homework, and then I failed every quiz and test for the entire year, but the homework was so heavily weighted, I got a B. I did the math to find out that if I at least got a 40 on the quizzes and did a perfect 100 on my homework, I would get a B. I did math to find out how bad I could be at math and still get credited for being good at math. That's God. Really an A, if you ask me. That's math. That's next level math. That ain't calculus. That's not trig. That's called getting the job done. That's what you got to do. Like when I lied on my theater appreciation class. Ever tell you about that one?
No, I'm learning all these new things about you.
I was in a theater class. I think it was acting. It was an acting class. That's what it was. Acting.
I'm way less surprised now. I could see you taking at least one acting class for sure.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
My partner forgot all of her lines the day of the final exam. It was a
Duet?
Sure, whatever you call that in acting or whatever.
What were you doing?
It was some scene. I don't even know what it was from, but I was like a guy who was at a bar drinking, and this lady did something I didn't like, and so we were very frustrated at each other. And I say my first line, and I look over at my partner, and I go, "What are you doing here, Doris?" And then she's like, and then I had to improv the rest of it. And I go, "Well, if I were you, I think that I would say that I'm not very happy with you, Derek." And then I would reply to what you said, and I would say, "You did this to us." And then I was supposed to be at a bar, so I would fake order more drinks from the fake bartender. I'm like, she is not ready for that. And I'd chug the whole thing and go, "Well, you know what? If I were you, I would say," and I did both parts. Because this girl just sat there. And,
You had to have gotten an A, right?
I got an A. That was one of the few A's I got in college.
You had to have gotten an A on that. I don't know. She had to have failed that assignment.
Oh, dude, it was a master performance. I played both parts.
That's amazing.
And had an argument with myself while the lady stared.
If I were you, I would say.
If I were you, I would say this, and then I would mean it, and then I would reply very affirmatively towards what you said. But
That's awesome.
the final exam was you had to go to a play at school, you had to go to a play outside of school, and then you had to write a page report on each. Well, I went to the play at school, and there was nudity. I go to the play at school, and some dude's butt. Some dude is naked. He walked out on the stage, and I see his old butt, and I'm like, "What is this?"
It's a student play.
It wasn't a student. And I saw that dude in a Calhoun Community College commercial a couple of years ago. Have you seen the one with the light bulb where the guy pulls the string?
Yeah.
It was that guy. I saw him. I was like,
The kid or the dad in that commercial?
The dad playing with the light bulb, and he looks like a goof. I saw that commercial, and I went, "I've seen that guy's butt." I yelled that to whoever I was with, and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Look, it's a long story." But imagine that, dude. You see a stranger's butt, and you see him, and you go, "Hey, I know that guy." Well, I know his butt.
I've seen that guy's. By the way, I know that guy, and I've seen that guy's butt. Two totally introductions to that character.
And I don't know that guy, but I have seen his butt, and it was well lit. Anyways, I saw the play at school, and I was so bored and grossed out by that old man's butt that I was like, "Dude, I'm not going to a playoff. I don't like watching plays. I don't have the attention span for it." So I found a local play at the local playhouse, and I called the playhouse and said, "Hey, how's it going? I'm doing a scrapbook for a school project, and in the scrapbook I'm putting collections of local productions. I was wondering if you had any old ticket stubs from the Spider-Man show you guys did last week, because you had to provide a ticket stub to prove that you went." I was like, "Oh, I'm just wondering if you guys had any ticket stubs you give me for the scrapbook. Specifically, anything from last week would be real good." And she was like, "Oh my God, I'll give you a whole stack of them." And I was like, "Well, that's fantastic." And she gave me all this crap, and I threw most of it away and just kept the one ticket stuff. And then I turned it in, and I found a synopsis of the play on the internet. So I just read that and then summarized the summary and turned it in, and I got an A.
What was the biggest difference between the?
And now my diploma will be revoked. Due to
now
revealing
statute
that.
limitations are up.
Yeah, right.
What was the biggest difference between the student play and the play you saw outside of school? The biggest difference I saw was that the first play they were students, and the other play they were adults. The end.
One of them I saw. One of them I never went to.
One of them was Spider-Man. He shoots webs out of his hands. The other one had an old man's butt on
I
TV.
loved this play. I did not love that old man's butt. It did nothing for me, and I do not believe it did anything for the audience. If I were to rewrite this play, I'd keep it the same, but subtract that guy's butt.
It was the weirdest interpretation of Schindler's List I've ever seen.
Dude, it's so messed up to go to a play, a school play, and you think you're going to get, "Oh, Oklahoma, where the wind goes," and then you don't get that. You just get some little guy's butt. That's not a theater experience.
And it sounds like you didn't go to a play. It sounds like you went to some dude's apartment. And
dude, honestly, don't remember a single thing from that play aside from that dude's butt in the first scene. One lady in the crowd went, "Ah!" I was like, "Thank you."
remember one time I kind of my BS story was we had to. I know I've told you this story before, but it was in communications law, comm law, easily the hardest class I took in college. Really hard to pay attention to. Did not care about communications law. The professor was pretty cool, but at one point he gave us a list of books, a named list. Didn't have a picture of the books, nothing. He said these books are from my personal bookshelf in my office. You have, based on the name, you have to pick a book. Then you got to come to my office, and I'm going to give you that book, and you have to read it and do a report on it. You have to stand up, do an oral report on it, and then you have to do a written report as well. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just kind of like, which one sounds easier to read, just based off the title, trying to pick the easiest one. Because you have to remember, when I was in college at UNA, I was managing a gas station. So I would get up, I'd go into class. I'd have to be there at 9 a.m. I'd get out at 1, and then I would work from 1 p.m. until 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. depending on the day. I'd work 56 hours a week and go to school. So I'm not reading this, whatever book it is, I'm not going to read it. So
Who reads?
I told him, I picked one, and he pulls it off the shelf. He goes, "This is such a good choice. This used to be an old textbook that we taught the class. I had to read a textbook."
Yeah, you're gonna fail.
And we stood there for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, having a conversation about why he liked the book so much. I based my entire oral report and my entire written report based off of the conversation he and I had. Got an A on the oral report, B on the paper. Never cracked the cover of that book.
How'd you get an A on the oral report and a B on the paper?
Because the oral report was more summarized than the paper had to be like a long description of the book.
Ran out of gas, huh?
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I can talk my way out of a lot. I can't write my way out of much.
I had that happen to me once in college. I had a speech I gave where the teacher would grade you and then the students would grade you. And the class gave me like a 98, and then the teacher gave me like a 72. So I got an 84 or whatever the middle is. Like I got a B, and I'm like, how do two people in the same room have such a drastically different opinion of what I said? How is that like an entire group of students said, "Hey, perfect, averaged 298." Teacher, not good, 72. What?
How can? Oh,
That's
wait.
on you.
It's crazy that you're not understanding how let's say a early 20-something Ricky could go into a classroom and appeal more to 20-something-year-olds than he can and a 30, 40-year-old teacher.
You ever listen to an oral presentation from somebody? They're all boring. No one cares about anyone's speech because they're all just sitting there sweating, thinking about what they're going to say during theirs. I grabbed the attention of these people. They actually cared. I don't care what the guidelines were.
What'd you do?
I don't remember.
I don't care what the guidelines
No,
were.
I do
There you
remember.
go. That's why.
Dude, I gave a speech. You had to invent something. You had to invent anything and then sell it to the class. I was like, all right. What could I invent? And then you had to make a prototype and show it in class. So I'm like, what am I capable of doing?
What can I physically make?
That rules out most things.
Yeah.
So I thought
99% of stuff.
I thought, this is going to be great in the future, especially with the technological boom that will happen. I'll deal with envelopes. I said, you know what the worst part about licking an envelope is? That filthy glue taste. I'm presenting to you flavored envelopes. And so I took an envelope and I taped 3 lifesavers on the end, and that was my prototype. But I had a little speech. There were candles. I turned the light off at one point. I played some Kenny G. It was awesome, dude. Crap idea, great speech, but like, how did the class see an A and the teacher sees a C? I don't get that. I don't care what the guidelines are. That's an A.
That's why you didn't get an A. You didn't care about the guidelines. Probably didn't follow.
Yeah, but I
most
did.
of them.
I did it. No, because in that same class, I wrote a 6-page paper and turned it in, and the teacher was like, "Hey, great paper. Not at all what I was looking for. So I'm gonna need you to redo it and turn it in by next week. But great paper." I'm like, dang it.
Jacob Flippo gets it on YouTube. He says, "Awful taste, but good execution."
Yeah. I mean, I'm an idiot. I was like, I can tape a lifesaver to an envelope.
Lifesaver.
I didn't care so much about the prototype. I knew what it was. I could get in there and sell it.
Can you tell me what anybody else in that class had created? I want to compare what they
Not
created.
a single thing. Not a single thing can I tell you, but I guarantee someone in that class remembers that flavored envelope story.
Yeah, because it stood out because it was probably way worse than what everybody else created.
Have you licked an envelope, sir?
No, not in a while, no.
Have you ever?
Dude, I get scared of licking the envelopes because of the horror stories you see about cutting your tongue and then have you not seen that story where?
Well, I mean, I'm capable of licking something without slicing my tongue off.
No, but have you seen that story where a lady had licked an envelope and she cut her tongue and it just so happened that like a roach or some bug laid eggs on that envelope and
oh my God,
she grew a roach in her tongue. You never heard that?
Talk about bad luck.
Yeah.
Anytime you're having a bad day,
it terrifies.
Remember that you're not the woman who accidentally cut her tongue trying to send some mail and a roach grew in it. That's a bad sequence. Oh my God. The number of things that you have to do exactly right for that to happen.
It's terrifying. So no, I don't lick envelopes anymore.
The flavoring on my envelopes would have killed any eggs or anything laid upon it. It would have never allowed for something like that.
I just want to know what everybody else was creating in that class compared to an envelope with some lifesavers.
I don't know, dude. Probably something great. I went to an engineering school, I can't compete with the guy who's going to build the fuselage for, a 747. I can't compete with that. I got to bring the flair.
Well, that's why there's such a big grade discrepancy.
Bull crap, dude. Create something. Sell it to the class.
That's good, though.
If I was collecting money, teach, I'd be pretty rich right now.
There's a reason why you're in entertainment, because you are very entertaining. That is hilarious.
Whatever, I got snubbed.
That is fantastic. Believe it or not, we're 30 minutes in. We do have sports to talk about, believe it or not.
Oh, sports.
Yeah.
I like sports.
We're 30 days. We're less than 30 days away from baseball here, from Trash Pandas coming back.
Yeah, dude. It's getting to that time as a guy who works for the team where you kind of have panic dreams. Mm-hmm. It'll wake you up in the middle of the night like you're laying there and all of a sudden, oh my God, when I put on the rally towels. And you're like, I didn't even order rally towels. What am I talking about? It's that kind of stuff. Oh, the trash! I forgot to sit up the trash cans. Oh, I bet they blown onto the field. No. What? No. But it's that time of year. And the reason we have those dreams is because we got a lot going on here in Pantyland, dude. The field looks fantastic. They've been poking holes in it, doing all kinds of cool grass stuff, make it all nice and purty, which it just... God, it looks beautiful out here. I'm ready for some Panthers baseball. I'm ready to see this team.
I can't wait.
I'm ready to get out of wearing collared shirts. Season happens a little more lax.
I don't know if you saw this earlier today, but we've been trying to get Stephen Schock on the show. He was interested in coming on.
Mm-hmm.
But Sonny D tweeted earlier today, or yesterday. He said, announcement. Me and Steven's name on Twitter is Big Donkey 47. He says, me and Big Donkey 47 have some big news coming here very soon. Excited to bring some healthy college baseball content. Stay tuned. Introducing Sunny Side of the SEC with Sonny and Steve.
That's great.
Sonny's going to be doing a podcast.
That's a good idea. College baseball, I think, is going to continue to grow. For many, like it has just in the last few years. I know me personally, I never used to care about college baseball, and about 3-4 years ago, I got into it, man. And they got a great postseason. They've got great atmospheres. You can tell the school, especially in the SEC. I mean, they show up to them just like they do football, baseball. It's nuts. I went to an Alabama baseball game a few years ago. It was so much freaking fun, dude. And I think college baseball is no doubt on the rise. That'll be good stuff. And those. Steve and Sonny, Sonny knows college baseball. Steve does too, and they follow it very well.
They biffed the title, dude. They spelled Sonny correctly. They
they blew it.
Sonny, S-O-N-N-Y.
Right. They'll figure it out. They're baseball guys. They're watching tape. They're not.
That's brutal, man. But I'm excited to hear that. Well, we can talk to
non-envelope salesman.
If Sonny comes back, we can talk to him about that.
No, we're gonna have to talk to these guys. We're gonna have to get them on here now that we've got the inside.
Oh yeah,
the donkey. Yeah, we
gotta Big Donkey. 47.
I just hope we don't get big timed.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. Just a couple of local guys trying to provide a little something for some fans here. That's all we're asking.
Surely they'll give it to him. Well, Steven was interested in coming on. We just trying to find the right time. We were just trying to find the right time to get him on. But yeah, he's totally open to coming on.
Yeah, I think Man, maybe that week before we get going with the season, we should try to try getting him on again.
For sure. Absolutely.
All right, sports.
Throughout the season, too, we're going to do our best to make sure that we can get as many Trash Pandas on throughout the season as we can. When we were on the radio, we did the same thing. So surely we'll be able to continue that trend and have plenty of your Trash Pandas throughout the week. You'll be able to hear them talk about whatever nonsense we want to talk about. We are definitely gonna tell one of them the envelope story and see the best thing they've ever invented. For sure. Gotta figure that out.
For sure.
But so in the world of football, yesterday was a big day in the NFL with a lot of announcements, players not really moving around, but contracts being signed, tags being displayed. It looked like for a while that the Giants were going to franchise tag Daniel Jones, but instead they came to a new agreement with him yesterday, and they franchise tag Saquon Barkley. This is a team that made the playoffs this year, first year under Brian Daboll, looked really, really good, way better than they had in the past. They were a playoff team this year, so that was really, really good. A playoff team in a division, by the way, that had, 3 playoff teams?
Yeah.
So they were in a good division. You had the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants. So, yeah, it was a good division in football this year. The problem is you also had another guy here. You'll see the trend in a minute. The other problem is Geno Smith, the Seahawks, signed a 3-year, $105 million contract, which is heavy loaded. He's like getting $51 million this year. There's $35 million worth of incentives in the contract, so it averages out like the guaranteed. He's guaranteed $25 million a year. But if he hits the full length of his contract, he's guaranteed $35 million a year. Is what Geno Smith's contract is worth. Daniel Jones' contract was like 4 years, $160 million. If you take out, I know that everyone's freaking out because like if you add up the entire contract with incentives, which is $160 million, if you add up all of that, then it's worth like 40-something million a year. If you take the incentives away, it's still averaging $31.2 million a year. Like that's what he's guaranteed for Daniel Jones.
Still very good.
Lamar Jackson was put on the exclusive tag, or the non-exclusive tag, not the exclusive tag. The exclusive tag would have,
which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, the exclusive tag would have paid Lamar Jackson like $45 million.
Right.
But instead, it was a non-exclusive tag, which is going to only pay him $32 million. So Lamar Jackson, right now, until someone else gives him a better offer and the Ravens either match or trade him to that team, right now Lamar Jackson is slated to make $32 million. Take out the bare minimum that Daniel Jones can make per year in his contract is $31.2 million. There is no chance, no shot Lamar Jackson plays for $32 million this year. I know there are a lot of teams out there right now. The way the non-exclusive tag works is you're tagging him, you're allowing him to go speak with other teams, but you have a chance to match the offer that those other teams give Lamar Jackson. So if you decide to decline to match that offer, you then get to trade, or you then have to trade Lamar Jackson to that team. That team has to give up a minimum of 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. They have to give up 2 first-round picks to get Lamar Jackson, which would be a steal, especially since you're going to pay him a ton of money, well, a lot more than $32 million. But the problem is he's being blackballed by a lot of owners, it feels like, because the Falcons said they were out on him, the Dolphins, all these other teams came out and said they were out on him, and I believe I know why. Because Lamar Jackson wants a fully guaranteed contract. Lamar Jackson, what he needs to do is he needs to go speak to his mother, and they need to get him an actual agent.
His agent.
They need to get him a real agent.
Yeah,
because it just seems like they're in over their head now.
That was messed up, dude.
He's obviously worth way more than that. He's being strong-armed by these other GMs because he wants what Deshaun Watson got when Deshaun Watson broke the league by doing this fully guaranteed thing. And it just feels like, outside looking in, I don't know what the deals look like and what the negotiations look like. It looks like they are being bested because they just don't know how to negotiate. His mom's not an actual agent.
I could not imagine if my mom was brokering $40 million deals for me.
I'd be so nervous.
I think my mom would have a hard time handling the front office of an NFL team during a multi-million-dollar negotiation.
My mom watched my house, or watched my apartment on my honeymoon.
Yeah.
I came back and my cats didn't have food for 3 days, and she killed my car battery because she left the door open. Lamar Jackson's mom is negotiating $40 million a year for her son. My mom couldn't even close my car door and feed my cats. She texted me like 2 days before we came home. She was like, hey, I got to go back. She lived in Tennessee. She was like 2 hours away. She was like, I got to go back home. I'll make sure the cats have plenty of food. I got back and they didn't have food for 2 days. And she had used my car while she was there. She's like, I drove my car down here, so I'm going to use your car while I'm here. Since you're not going to use it, you're not here. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I got back, and she'd slammed the seatbelt in the door, so my car battery was dead. I got home, my cats are malnourished, and my car battery's dead because I let my mom watch my apartment. And Lamar Jackson's mom is negotiating millions upon millions of dollars worth of deals.
Well, she didn't negotiate anything. So, yeah, get yourself an agent, pay him a little money. But what – This it smells weird, man. Because why is no one wanting quarterback's the most important position in the league, and no matter what you think about Lamar Jackson, you can't argue with what he's produced. The guy's got like a 74% win percentage. He's been an MVP. He's one of the most electric players in the league. You do have to worry about injuries with a guy like that, and he's missed time the last couple seasons doing that. But, 34-year-old Russell Wilson goes for 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, a 5th-round pick, and 3 players, and gets $165 million guaranteed. A 26-year-old Lamar Jackson can go for 2 first-round picks and $200 million guaranteed, and everyone's like, ooh, I don't want that. What's the deal here?
It's because they're trying to – number one –
is this an owner's thing? They don't like having to pay quarterbacks the money that they're getting paid right now? Because it is insane.
They don't like the fully guaranteed aspect of it. They hated it when Deshaun Watson got the fully guaranteed stuff from Cleveland. They knew that that's where the market was headed. And Kyler Murray ended up getting like a ridiculous amount of money guaranteed also. But they just don't want it fully guaranteed. Like, I guess they'd be cool with guaranteeing him like $200 million if the contract was worth like $500, like Patrick Mahomes or whatever. But they don't want to pay him $230 million and guarantee him $230 million. So they're trying to set the precedent. And the reason why they're I think so strong on it is because they're in a position where they can, because he does not have an agent. It's his mom. So
look at Deshaun Watson, who has an agent. In the middle of 20-plus lawsuits, guy's got $230 million guaranteed. Leads the league. After skipping a year. Get an agent, man. They'll do you good.
I'm telling you, man. And
that agent that got Deshaun that deal, that guy, I don't know who is Deshaun's agent. Whoever it is, he's very good.
We're going into a year where because of
Kyler's agent. Oh my gosh, the guy has a losing record in the NFL. He's already lost more games than Lamar Jackson.
And he's got
like 185 guaranteed.
Yeah, like almost 200 million guaranteed. And then you have again this season where Geno Smith, I believe, it signed a $105 million contract. He's getting $51 million this year in guarantees. $51 million guaranteed for Geno Smith. You're getting Daniel Jones, whose contract at the bare minimum is worth like $32 million a year. Minimum. That's taking out the incentives. It could be worth up to $40 million a year. Lamar Jackson is slated to make $32 million this year. Former MVP of the league. Obviously, the Ravens needed him. You could tell that they were hurting without him at the end of the year. It's one of those unfortunate. Everybody's like you. They're like, well, what's going on? What's going on? I'll tell you exactly what's going on. They want to take advantage of the situation that he doesn't have an agent. They are in a position where they can take advantage of it, and that's what they're doing.
Dude, these guys that are running NFL football teams, they're absolute hawks.
They're ruthless.
They've made their money through ruthless business deals their entire way.
Absolutely.
They've made their entire fortune through business deals before they even owned the NFL or owned an NFL team and started doing it that way. These people know about how to make money, and they know how to get it done, and they know how to kind of, work some people to make you take a deal you're not going to. You know how easy it'd be to work someone's mom? Oh, my gosh. If you just complimented her shirt, you'd get away with anything. Oh, my gosh. What are those, flowers? It looks beautiful. How you doing, Patricia? Take a seat. Would you like some coffee? We get some for you. You would? Okay. Mom already loves you.
I mean, you're 100% right. And then so you have that whole debacle going down, but now that you've got and then we mentioned that Derek Carr is a saint on Monday, and now that that's happened, it's freed up Aaron Rodgers is the big story now. Where's he going to go? And it looks like Aaron Rodgers – oh, excuse me. Is that Aaron Rodgers or is that Brett Favre? Because it looks like Aaron Rodgers is about to go from quarterbacking the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets.
Well, look,
Aaron Rodgers is in discussion with the Jets, and that's exactly what Brett Favre did. Brett Favre ended up leaving Green Bay to go play for the Jets for a year, and then he ended up leaving there to go play for the Vikings. Is Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is legitimately Brett Favre. He's going to leave Green Bay with 1 Super Bowl. He's going to end up going and playing for the Jets, and then after the after the Vikings with 1 more year of Kirk Cousins realize, hey, what are we doing? Like we got Justin Jefferson over, we got Dalvin Cook, we have all this talent, and we got a mediocre quarterback. Let's go get Aaron Rodgers. He's not sold on a team. It's the Jets. We can get him from the Jets. Aaron Rodgers going to go finish what Brett Favre couldn't in Minnesota in 2 years.
I blame the Packers. They clearly don't know how to get rid of a quarterback. They just keep drafting dudes while they already have the guy. I mean, you draft a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers when you still have Brett Favre, Mm-hmm. You have to force him out at some point. Now, here we are with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, at least they stuck to their guns, though. They drafted Aaron Rodgers in the first round. They drafted Jordan Love in the first round. And by God, they let those guys wait to develop. They didn't throw him to the fire, Well, threw him to a different fire. Jordan Love had to deal with Aaron Rodgers. But he didn't get thrown into the fire of the NFL as a starting quarterback. They stuck to their guns. Can you still get a first-round quarterback and let him sit for 3 years? Is that still possible? The Green Bay Packers are going to test that next year.
Yeah, and ineffective ruined his career. I mean, nobody wants him.
Yeah,
and if you're Green Bay, if you get stuck with Jordan Love, you're probably not real happy. I watched him in the preseason, as I told you, because I love preseason football.
Yeah, can't wait to watch Jordan Love and Greg Dortch.
Hey, man, I watched a lot of Jordan Love, and he's not there.
I like to err on the side no matter what when it comes to quarterbacks, unless they're doing something ridiculous. Anytime a new young quarterback comes into the NFL, you're almost always going to be right if you just say they're going to be garbage. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say I have my doubts about him, because I remember another guy that, because he was seen on the sideline rapping along to a song that everybody liked, and because he was a white dude rapping to a song, everyone's like, dude, this guy's cold. He's going to be great next year for the Broncos. And that guy lost his starting job to Geno Smith this year. Drew Lock, he's nothing. And I tried for a whole offseason because of that. People were like, I can't wait for the preseason. He played in the first preseason game that year, and he was garbage. And everyone's like, I can't wait to watch what Drew Lock does. Drew Lock's going to be great. I think Drew Lock's going to have a great year. I spent the whole offseason trying to figure out what they were talking about.
Yeah.
We go in collectively – we lose.
He stunk.
We lose all sense of knowing what's right. We lose all sense of credibility, and we lose our minds when it comes to trying to predict good quarterbacks. Because so many people have all these values that they think, well, you got to do this to be good, do this to be good, but you'll make an exception because you like a guy, and then he turns out to be garbage.
I'll never forget that clip of Jordan Love when he got drafted by the Packers, and they had a camera in his house, and they showed him, and he just looked at the TV like, oh, God.
What number was he drafted at?
31, I think.
No, like which quarterback was he drafted? Like what number quarterback in the first round?
Oh, I don't remember. But I remember him getting drafted, and like he was not even happy. He's like, oh, no.
What year was that? Was it 2020?
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I mean, imagine how hard it's got to be for that dude to be in a locker room for 3 years, know he's not going to start, and then the guy playing your spot, like you said, like, I'm not going to train the dude to take my position. Like, it's just weird, man.
He was picked number 26. Joe Burrow went first.
Oh, that was the Tua Herbert draft.
Herbert was 6. He was the 4th quarterback taken in that draft. In the first.
Any quarterbacks after him?
Let's see. Yeah, Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round, 53 overall.
Oh, my God.
Jalen Hurts.
Future MVP Jalen Hurts.
Let's see. Any more QBs?
No, man. I don't think we got any more.
Jacob Eason.
Yeah.
James Morgan. I don't know who that is.
Bro, they don't even have stats for him.
Florida
International's James Morgan.
James Morgan was taken in that draft. Who's taken after James Morgan? Was there another quarterback? He had to be the last quarterback taken. Right? Yeah. No, that was only the 4th round. They were in the 5th round. If you're Jake Fromm.
Dude, Jake Fromm stunk, though.
And you got picked after James Morgan. Ugh.
Jake Fromm's NFL career will be remembered as the guy who did the QB sneak for the Giants 2 seasons ago. Did the QB sneak, on 2nd and 11, and then also on 3rd and 11, and then they punted.
That was almost as bad, even though it doesn't look quite as bad. It was almost as bad as that Colts punt,
Oh, yeah, where they did the fake. They had no lineman. They just had a center. Then they snapped it to a guy, and the guy who snapped it was like a safety, so he just got pancaked. And that was maybe the worst play in NFL history.
Jake Luton was taken after that.
Oh, good. Dude,
good.
Jake Fromm really was like a horrible NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
That guy,
Cole McDonald,
man,
from Hawaii.
Jake Fromm, blue chip high school quarterback, goes to Georgia. Gradually, he plays the whole time, but gradually becomes less effective, I feel like, on that team. Then goes to the pros and becomes so bad that they have to quarterback sneak on second and third down for him. Just set up a punt.
There was a quarterback drafted in the 7th round of the NFL that year that has played more than first-round quarterback Jordan Love. You know who's drafted in the 7th round that year?
Who?
Ben DiNucci.
Gooch. The Gooch DiNucci.
DiNucci was drafted in the 7th round that year. He started more games than Jordan Love in the NFL.
He's starting in the XFL right now, too.
Tommy Stevens? Who is that?
You remember Tommy Stevens?
No.
Played at Mississippi State. Yeah, I remember him.
I don't remember him at all.
He's one of those guys they throw in there. I think it was maybe him and Garrett Schrader going back and forth.
Remember Nate Stanley at Iowa?
Oh,
he was
no.
He was drafted in the 7th round.
I do remember the name, but, Iowa quarterback not putting up numbers.
He was the last quarterback drafted in that draft. Nate Stanley.
Nate. I don't think Nate's still there.
Well, so you mentioned the whole Colts fake punt thing. What might be the worst play in NFL history? What would your final 3 be? Worst plays you've ever seen? Because the butt fumble's up there.
Oh, dang, dude. Butt
fumble's up there.
Colts fake snap.
And I'm not putting the Cowboys playoff play in there this year because that was basically the whole Colts thing.
Yeah.
Just at the end of the game.
It's the same thing. What is another good choice? You got something?
I'm trying to think. I know some boneheaded plays, but not like. Well, I guess
Orlovsky running out of the end zone.
Orlovsky
and then still running.
Okay.
after Jared Allen started celebrating safety.
Orlovsky's a good one. I was going to say probably one of Leon Lett's plays.
The Leon Lett
Thanksgiving game.
The Leon Lett fumble in the snow, giving a win to the Bills.
I always remember hearing the broadcaster go, "Leon Lett, no,
no."
Oh, yeah. So that
pretty
one.
bad.
They were blowing out the Bills out in the Super Bowl, so that one wasn't as bad. Where he picked up the fumble and he was going to return it for a touchdown. He showboated and they smacked it gave him a touchback. That one wasn't as bad because they blew the Bills out in the game.
Bill Gramatica, kicker for the Arizona Cardinals, nailed a field goal regular season game. Takes a 3-step run, jumps, bow, throws a fist in midair, lands, tears his ACL.
Who's the guy? Speaking of celebrating and hurting yourself, the guy that who's the quarterback that jammed his neck?
Gus Farrat ran in a
yeah.
touchdown, was so pumped he jammed his head into the wall on the back of the end zone and gave himself a concussion.
Was it Owen Schmidt? His last name was Schmidt.
Owen Schmidt,
guy
played at West Virginia, used to bash the helmet into his own face until it started bleeding.
That guy, he invented CTE.
That dude was nuts.
Had to.
Surprised that guy isn't a pro wrestler or something.
He needs to be.
Should have brought back the Legion of Doom.
Those are some really good bad plays. So I don't know. I mean, God, that Colts bad punt is one of the worst. I just don't know if I could definitively. It might be. I just don't know if I could definitively say it's the worst play in NFL history. But God, it's up there.
That Colts one's pretty rough.
Yeah, Robert says the Colts fake snap formation was probably the dumbest play I've ever seen.
That might have to be the worst.
It was, and I can give you dumbest too, just because it was like it's a pre-snap formation. Like you pre-planned that formation and then decided to snap the ball. The butt fumble, it was like a broken down play. Mark Sanchez didn't mean to do that. He didn't line up to run into a safety.
You know what I mean? It turned out bad.
Turned out to be a really dumb play, but it wasn't like intentionally dumb.
Leon Lett made a bad decision after making a good play. Yeah, the Colts play, doomed from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay, you convinced me.
We're going to put a reserve safety at center. We're going to snap the ball to – who did they snap it to? A receiver? Oh, Griff Whalen, punt returner. We're going to have our safety snap the ball to our punt returner.
Griff Whalen.
As Dante Hightower and somebody else for the Patriots are just waiting, salivating, knowing that Colt Anderson is going to do absolutely nothing to block them, the reserve safety. And dude went down immediately. That's got to be number one.
Griff Whalen sounds like he makes country music.
Griff Whalen. That's a great name, isn't it? You don't forget a guy like Griff Whalen did nothing in the pros. Like, he played for a couple years, but you don't forget that name. Griff.
Speaking of great names, there's a combo guard, one of the best combo guards in the 2024 class, I believe, in college basketball. I saw this yesterday.
Yeah.
People were talking about him on Twitter. Amazing name. I think Alabama's got an offer out for him. Dink Pate. Dink Pate.
I love the name.
Dink it's a solid name.
Dink Pate.
Dink Pate.
Dink.
Dinkus?
What's Dink? Yeah, what's Dink short for?
I don't know.
I don't know. Probably just a nickname. Yeah, Dink.
I would imagine. Well, let's look up his real name. It's a good idea.
Dink.
You mentioned yesterday, you said something about Doink the Clown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say it was WWF 95. I had a computer game.
That was
had
WrestleMania, the arcade game, dude.
Well,
Get it right.
I know that's the picture I sent you, but I had, in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, I had a computer game that had Doink the Clown. I just don't remember what it was called.
Yeah. Was Dink on there?
No, Doink was. Dink was not.
Doink had a Dink. Now Dink needs a Doink. Is Alabama recruiting any Doinks?
I don't know.
Doink Phillips
I don't really like what you said, but
out of Philadelphia? What's up?
It just says his name's Dink. I don't know what it's short
Hey,
for.
then his name shall be Dink. I don't want to know his real name.
Brandon Jenkins? Oh, that's the recruiting analyst.
Come on, man. He didn't change his whole name.
Pate is loaded with 6'8" combo guard.
Dank. That's what I'm going to say every time
Be
he
a good
dunks
one.
it.
Be a good one to have. We've got offers from Georgetown, UCF, Alabama, Arizona, and Arizona State.
We're getting Dink. That's a done deal. Dink's coming to the capstone.
That's a good one. We'll have to revitalize the closer to football season the best names. We could do that in the Southern League when we get the rosters and stuff. Try to find the best baseball names.
Southern League all-name team?
Yeah.
We should go through that.
Let's do that.
No one's doing that. That's a bullpen exclusive.
Yeah.
And then maybe when we get Big Donkey 47 on here, we can go over the all-Southern League name team.
Yeah. And then we'll go over it with some of the players we get on here, see if they think anybody was snubbed.
Nice. Cool. All right, I like that. That's a good call.
We just programmed that live. We have not pre-discussed this. This was a brand new hatched idea.
Solid idea.
Southern League all-name team coming to you later this season.
Unless we have a bunch of regular names, then it's going to stink.
Yeah. No, we'll have some good. There's so many good names out there in baseball, man. We've had some really good ones. Really, really good ones.
I hope we have a Dink. Get a Dink on the team.
Right before we go, since we have a few minutes, again, just reminding everybody what we have coming up here at Toyota Field this month. We still have some high school baseball games towards the end of the month. We're going to cap off the non-Trash Pandas baseball with Alabama and MTSU. March 28th here at Toyota Field, so you're going to get another collegiate baseball game here, and that is just days away. That's like a week before the Trash Panda season starts, essentially.
Yeah.
And then right after that, I mean, you've got Trash Pandas baseball starting April 6th. And in the mix of all that baseball madness, we have people living in our outfield
that was not accurate.
Putting a fair together for you.
No one is living on the field. No one lives
in the out, like beyond the outfield.
Yeah, you got to be sure with that one. Sorry. People, you know how a rumor.
Sorry, Major League Baseball. Nobody's living in our outfield.
There was a guy when the Trash Panda started. He spread the rumor. He said, "There's literally no tickets on sale for these games. They've sold every ticket. You're not even going to be able to buy a ticket if you want to go to a game." I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So we know if you say something like that, people will believe it. There are not currently people living in the outfield.
That's true.
The grass will be ready to go.
Just beyond the outfield.
And you can buy tickets to Trash Panda games. You've literally been able to do that for every game. Every single game.
Look, we love our crowd, and we averaged 5,500 people last year. That is bananas. But to sell out 7,500 for 69 games, it would be
Nobody
insane.
does it.
Nobody does it.
It's impossible.
That'd be insane. So come check us out this year.
Tickets are available. All the time.
You remember earlier when you were telling me like you're not doing a good job at selling the fair?
Yeah.
I'm going to continue with that by asking you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When does it open?
Oh, I don't know. I'll be on my honeymoon. I don't know.
Okay, so it opens sometime after this weekend. All right, there you go.
I believe it's Saturday.
Oh, it opens this Saturday?
I don't know.
It's going to be ready Saturday?
I shouldn't have said that. We're not selling that good. I got to get that for sure. Hold on. Let me figure this.
I was thinking like the 18th. Like the next
No,
Saturday.
it's the 10th.
Oh, it's Friday.
Haha.
Hey guys,
I was
come
close.
check out the fair on Friday. They're
We
going
are
to put
not
that up.
selling this well.
They're going to put that up fast.
Yeah. Friday, hey, get your weekend started here at Toyota Field. Hang on out. Ride the monkey maze. I can see the monkey maze in the distance. The lights have been flickering all day, and they move around. And every time you've been talking, I've been like looking at you, but occasionally I'll sneak away to look at the monkey. I've been looking at the monkey maze.
Zoned in on the monkey maze. All right, that's going to do it for us today. We have completely undersold this fair. The big old ballpark fair coming back to Toyota Field starting on Friday through the 19th. I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. We'll be back with you on Friday when the fair opens. Well, I'll be back. You're gone. You're getting married.
I'll be gone, yeah.
Ricky's getting married. You're off Friday.
Right. I'm out Friday, and I'm gone for a week, folks.
All right. So we'll be back. I'll figure something out to do something with
live from the monkey maze Friday. This is the bullpen.
It's the bullpen. We'll see you then.